Welcome to Messin with Matt, the cooking show where I would teach you how to impress your friends on study breaks, at parties, or if you're just looking for a good home-cooked meal. This week, I will teach you how to make a special dinner for your significant other. We're going to do pork chops with a side of cheesy broccoli and sweet potatoes. Let's get messy. For your pork dinner, you will need pork, garlic powder, and chicken Montreal seasoning, red Moscato wine, sweet potatoes, marshmallows, and cinnamon, and butter, broccoli, cheese, sour cream, and butter. So let's get started. You go ahead and you're going to sprinkle some Montreal chicken seasoning on top of your pork. And then likewise with your garlic powder. You just sprinkle it on, I use these two seasonings because the Montreal seasoning gives it a little bit of a Italian spice to it, and garlic always helps enhance the flavors of pork. So next, after you put your seasoning in there, you go ahead and you take a glass of wine and you just pour that over top of it. It's a nice marinade, and you just go ahead and you kind of mix it up a little bit. Make sure everything's nice and covered. And then that'll take about 15 minutes to marinate. Anything more than that, you're not really doing anything to it. So 15 minutes is all you need. And you can just put that aside while we work on our vegetables. For your vegetables, you go ahead, you cut up your sweet potatoes. The smaller you cut them, the faster they cook. But we're just actually going to end up steaming them anyway. So go ahead, cut them up. As you finish them, put them inside your pot. Now that your yams are in there, you can go ahead and you can put your broccoli in as well. Go ahead, you dump it in. I'm just going to be steaming this today, so it doesn't really matter if you cook them together because you're going to separate them later on. But for right now, to save time and space, you go ahead and make sure you just cover the bottom of the pan. You're not trying to boil anything, you're just trying to steam it a little bit. So you'll go ahead and you're going to cook that on the stove for about 7 minutes on a medium-high heat. While your vegetables are being steamed, you can go ahead and you can start your meat. You can turn up your heat, grill. Mine's at about 400 degrees. You can cook this in a skillet or also inside the oven as well. You can just bake your pork. It all depends on how you want to cook it and how fast you have to cook it. So you go ahead, you heat it up, and you just go ahead and you put your pork right on there. And that's going to take about 7 minutes until it's to the halfway point. I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll flip it, and then it'll take about another 3-4 minutes, and then it'll be done. So let's wait for it to cook. This looks like a good halfway point. So about 7 minutes in, you flip your pork. And that's what it should look like on this side. And now your pork should only take like at least another 5 minutes, but then it'll be done after that. Once your vegetables are done, you would know they're done by poking a fork in them, and if the fork pokes in easily and it falls back off, you know they're done. That's a good sign that they are done. Now, I'm going to show you how to first make the broccoli. To make the broccoli, you take, for about that amount, I'd say 2 teaspoons of sour cream, about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of Colby Jack cheese, and then 2 slices of Colby Jack. And you kind of crumble those up. You also need a teaspoon of butter in there. And then there should still be a little bit of water left over from you steaming it, so you just go ahead and you mix that all together. So you go ahead and you mix it up, and it gets to about that consistency. And then you'll just go ahead and you'll put it back on the stove at like a low heat while you finish cooking everything else. And as for your sweet potatoes, you'll go ahead and you're going to mash them up a little bit. Start them. And then you're going to add in a teaspoon of butter, some cinnamon, and you're going to mix that all together. And then, for a little bit of extra sweetness, if you like it, you can always go ahead and you can get marshmallows
Oopsies.
Well, it is messing with that, isn't it? Alright, so you just go ahead, you put some marshmallows in there, mix that up, and you're going to throw this inside the microwave for, you know, about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, just to get your marshmallows all melted. Whenever your sweet potatoes are ready, they'll look like that. And you'll just mix them up a little bit more just to get that sugar throughout it. And there's your sweet potatoes. That's your broccoli. Look how nice and cheesy that looks. And then you'll grab a piece of pork. And that is your pork dinner. And now this meal, if you have leftovers, they're good to throw into the microwave throughout the week or anything. So, you know, go ahead and enjoy.